It's day 7, and we are a quick, very reasonably priced 3-hour train or bus ride from Porto down to Portugal's capital, Lisbon. It was in making this video that I realized most of my Lisbon pictures have been mysteriously deleted, so most of the footage you see here will be from the tour's Instagram page, including some pictures from my tour in 2021. If you are of the African diaspora and you've heard of Lisbon, you've probably heard of the African Lisbon Tour. Its creator and guide is Naki Glaglo, a Togo native, longtime Lisbon resident, and impeccable dresser. Did you know that there were Africans in Lisbon prior to the establishment of the slave trade? Naki shares that elites from the Kingdom of Congo came to Lisbon to study theology, translation, and astronomy. Sadly, by the 15th century, the legacy of Africans in Portugal dramatically shifted with the arrival of 240 enslaved Africans brought to the beaches of Lagos in southern Portugal. By 1486, the Portuguese crown created the Lisbon Slave House, formalizing what would become a multinational, multi-trillion-dollar transatlantic slave trade. The tour begins at the Praça de Comércio, the city's commercial center where enslaved Africans were sold. We also visit the Church of St. Dominic, where blacks created their own Black Catholic Brotherhood, and the Rua de Poco dos Negros, or Road of the Black Pit. This road is the site of a mass grave of African slaves. Even if they were baptized, the enslaved could not be buried in Christian cemeteries. The tour does not shy away from current issues facing Black and marginalized populations in Portugal. Despite almost 2 centuries of freedom and fighting for civil rights, Blacks in Portugal, similar to the U.S., still face disproportionate state brutality. In fact, just this past October, Lisbon police killed Odair Manes, a Cape Verdean immigrant, like many who come to Portugal, who lived in Lisbon for 2 decades and was a married father of 3. The struggle continues. The tour also stops by an African market and one of several established African restaurants in the city for a delicious family-style meal. It was so fun to debrief and commune with everyone while supporting Black businesses. This tour draws people from all backgrounds, as it should, because this is world history. But I will say it's so heartwarming to meet and chat with Black people from all over the world. On my tour, there were Black people from England and Germany, as well as many Black Americans. Lisbon is notoriously a bunch of steep hills disguised as a city, so unfortunately, it's not really accessible for people with mobility issues. The tour is advertised as 4 hours, but I would suggest clearing your whole day if you can. You can leave at any time, but the tour has 3 components: the walking tour, the family dinner, and if you're up for it, the group heads to one of the local bars to keep the party going. As I'm often traveling alone as a woman, I aim to be back to my accommodations by no later than 9 p.m., but this tour had to be out until 1 a.m., and I was not the last to leave. But Naki courteously walked me to my Uber, and I arrived to my Airbnb safely. So if you're planning to visit Lisbon, you may want to book the African Lisbon tour in advance and then book your travel and accommodations. Adios and obrigado, Portugal. Tomorrow we're hitting a whole new continent.